Hi, I'm Fareena, and I find it hard to write because 16-year-old girls are expected to write about personal topics in a certain way. But that's not me. I did a lot of free writing about this issue and found my inner voice. Expectations of a 16-year-old writer. My writing is weird. My stories consist of death, sadness, sometimes blood, and the occasional theme of loneliness. I use words that make readers cringe or shudder. I received worried looks from caring adults, and squinted eyes, and a glare from supporting friends. My parents have never read my writing, and I intend to keep it that way. Some people won't accept dark material from a 16-year-old. I like to write about blood. I like to write about murder. I like to write about sadness. I like to write about depression. I like to write about betrayal. I like to write about lies. I like to write about death. I like to write about sex. I like to write about drugs. I like to write about tears. I like to write about wasted years. I like to write about hope. I like to write about daydreams and nightmares. I like to write about the act of dying. I like to write about the act of living without anything to live for. I like to write about corruption. I like to write about the high tides of corruption. I like to write about sins. I like to write about tragedies. I like to write about blood. I like to write about murder. I like to write about all the dark, twisted, grim tales of life that are in my head. I like to write disturbing and slightly twisted fiction to surprise, entice, and entertain readers. I use adult language and write about adult themes that may seem odd coming from a 16-year-old. While it may seem strange, it may certainly make you feel worried. It shouldn't. I'm different, and I don't find it okay to be judged and stereotyped into something that is not me. I've read enough teen fiction over the years. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of watching television shows on Disney Channel or on MTV about teenage writers. Not every cultured 16-year-old with a big vocabulary privately blogs about her life or writes long diary entries about her love life. While my mother doesn't read books much, we both have spent many hours watching the Lifetime channel. We all know what the Lifetime channel does to a person. It sucks you in, and when you leave and come back to reality, you've wasted your time and completely lost your innocence. That's exactly what happened to me. So I stopped myself from watching Lifetime with their exaggerated stories and horrible acting skills. But still, I find myself drawn to their plots, drawn to their slightly twisted characters. One day, I picked up a novel in a store, Dark Places, and thought it was good enough to buy. I left the book alone on a shelf for about 2 years before I decided to read it. I had no idea how much a book would influence my writing. The author of that novel, Gillian Flynn, soon became my role model and inspiration. I admired her way with words and the themes she tried to convey in her books because they were more mature than anything I've ever read before. But I also fell in love with her books because I've always had a strong attraction for the darker side of things, the darker side of life. Flynn's novels are surprisingly fresh and entertaining with its morbid content. What I like most about Gillian Flynn is her brutally honest and violent portrayals of life. She has influenced me into writing dark and mature content, but I'm doing it in my own way. I've always been told to write what I know. I could write about my own problems or problems that kids my age experience, but I am so bored with my world that I would rather try to create fictional realities for other people. Writing is my only escape from reality, but honestly, what do I know of these other realities? I know nothing else beyond my immediate experience, so it might seem hopeless for me to write anything but teenage cliches. But if a regular person like Gillian Flynn can write about serial killers and self-harming journalists, why can't I? Now, because of writers like Gillian Flynn, I write what I don't know because it satisfies me as a person and challenges me as a writer. I do my best to let my readers experience everything I haven't. If that goal is achieved, then that makes me an effective, if weird, 16-year-old writer. Thank you.